With Skyblivion being in the horizon, many of you guys ask me, why bother Kavou? The Oblivion remake from Bethesda is out, so who cares about Skyblivion in the first place?
You serious?
And I've wanted to talk and give you my points why I think Skyblivion is going to be way more than you think. The biggest fan project of this decade will be way better, miles ahead even, than the Oblivion remake.
Well, the answer is simple. Skyblivion is a full-scale remake that reimagines Oblivion from the ground up, bringing it in line with modern RPG standards. While the official remaster impressively upgrades textures and assets, Skyblivion introduces entirely newly designed areas, dungeons, cities, gameplay enhancements, and much more. Every fort, home, cave, and landscape has been thoughtfully redesigned. And we've infused this sort of creative detail to breathe new life into a beloved classic. One that's nearly 2 decades old.
And I'm going to share my points. If you are new to this channel, I usually make Skyrim modding videos or modding videos in general for games that I love like Fallout. I won't be making those type of videos until September, so until then I'm gonna cover subjects like today's topic. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know your opinion down in the comment section, and with that out of the way, let's begin. First of all, let's start with the basics. Kavou, what the heck is Skyblivion and why it's so important? You see, Skyblivion is a fan-made project that has been on the making for over 10 years now. It will combine Skyrim and Oblivion into creating a perfect, complete remaster of OG Oblivion, and it's coming out this year. That's what Skyblivion is. And the first point I'm gonna make is that the Oblivion remaster, although it has the title remaster, it's actually not a remaster, it's a remake. It grabs everything from the original Oblivion and it remakes it with better graphics, smoother animations, everything stays very much the same. At least that's the idea behind it. Yes, some things like the leveling works different now, there is some weird things happening with the whole representation of the game, like the removal of statues or the removal of revealing armor clothes, but for the most part, the Oblivion remake is trying to be a complete remake of OG Oblivion. Essentially, you are playing the exact same game. It runs as bad as OG Oblivion, so props to that. Skyblivion, on the other hand, is a complete remaster of the game. Everything you remember from Oblivion, it's going to be overhauled and enhanced, keeping the spirit of Oblivion intact, which I think describes what a remaster is compared to the Oblivion remake. So another point I'm going to make is the performance factor. The Oblivion remake, when it comes to performance, it is using the Unreal Engine, which Unreal Engine has amazing performance in general, which is why you see so many new games using Unreal Engine. It combines the best performance and graphics fidelity when it comes to games in general. However, when it comes to Oblivion remake, the Unreal Engine update,
in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
And I don't know from where to start. The ray tracing that absorbs so many frames, the broken shaders, the glitches with the engine, and so many other different factors surrounding the graphics makes the whole Oblivion remake runs so bad it really makes me not want to play it, even when you install mods to increase the performance of it. When it comes to Skyblivion, it's very important to know that we will very likely be able to use all of the different ENBs and shaders that we've got over the past 15 years when it comes to Skyrim. So all of the graphical mods, all of the performance mods, and more important, the ENBs will be able to work and make Skyblivion run way better, save performance, and overall have the community to keep making custom patches and mods to further fix the game. I think Skyblivion is going to be a little bit bit broken at the start, but with more time it's going to get better and better, which doesn't seem to be the case for the Oblivion remake. Let's speak about what Skyblivion does better than the Oblivion remake, starting with being a complete remaster. In Skyblivion, every single NPC is getting their faces reworked and overhauled to further enhance their trait. They will stay faithful to the OG Oblivion, but they will look way more immersive, so all of the NPCs will be overhauled. Another comparison is that in the Oblivion remake, all of the forts, the dungeons, the castles, they look exactly the same as the OG Oblivion. And you might say, Kavou, is this a bad thing? I don't think it is, because many people like those. However, in Skyblivion, every single fort, cave or dungeon have completely remade with new landscapes, new ruins, there is even churches, everything is hand placed from scratch and redone, so every single map icon that you know and love from OG Oblivion in Skyblivion will be completely reworked with new architecture, with expanded walls. All of that comes from the Elder Scrolls lore, so it will stay faithful to the original while furthermore expanding areas, including, by the way, new NPCs, new stores, new areas, new hidden areas. In the Oblivion remake we had 7 Oblivion landscapes. In Skyblivion we're getting 11 of those, few of them having even different weather overhauls, just to give you an idea. Most of the interiors will not look copy-pasted like the Oblivion remake. In Skyblivion, the majority of the interiors in houses and all of those minor areas have completely been made from scratch. So again, when you're going to play Skyblivion, you're going to find redesigned cities, redesigned areas, new landscapes, new planes of Oblivion, so many new things, and again, the old things that we know and love will be enhanced furthermore. It will feel like you are playing a completely different game while you are still playing the game you know and love, that is Oblivion. That's why Skyblivion is so important, and that's why I think Skyblivion is going to have a way more bigger impact than the Oblivion remake had. And it shows you how crazy modding is when it comes to Skyrim. I know this is Oblivion, but essentially it's a Skyrim mode that is going to combine both Oblivion and Skyrim. You will require to have a copy of each to run the game. Now let's speak about the RPG elements. In the Oblivion remake there are some changes I've mentioned, like the leveling system, but everything is the same, including the bad things, such as the dungeons feeling like dungeon crawlers with repetitive random cells. Oblivion remake, just like OG Oblivion, has a very boring leveling, scaling, crafting system. There is no crafting areas at all, like in Skyrim for example. There are some changes when it comes to the combat. Skyblivion, on the other hand, it's going to bring so many new things on the table, because again it tries to combine all of the good parts from Morrowind, Oblivion and Skyrim into one game. Since it's using the Skyrim system, you will be able to finally have crafting stations. The leveling system will be completely reworked, feeling way more complex, challenging and fun when it comes to trying new builds compared to the Oblivion remake. In Oblivion remake, when it comes to combat, you just level up your skills and you get the different traits. However, in Skyblivion, you are getting those traits as well, while at the same time you are having the perks similar to Skyrim. Completely new perks combined with our favorite Oblivion traits is going to give you, those perks being brand new, will give you replayability, and you will be able to play Skyblivion over and over again while trying different builds and going crazy with all of the theory crafting, which is something I love. And when it comes to playing Oblivion remake, I find it kinda dull, because because let's be honest guys, OG Oblivion, it's a very old game and it has many problems. Speaking about the RPG elements, all of the dungeons, as I've said, are reworked. You won't have 10 different loading screens every time you do a dungeon just like the Oblivion Remake. Instead, the dungeons are expanded in Skyblivion. Maybe sometimes you will get a loading screen if it has a boss or is it chained with a quest, but for the most part, the dungeons will feel like dungeons. They will be connected with the entrance, similar to Skyrim, and it won't feel like this mess that Oblivion is when it comes to again leveling, fighting enemies, and clearing dungeons. When it comes to NPCs, most of the NPCs in Skyblivion have been reworked to give you way more options, which means you will be able to choose based on your race, based on your gender, spooky word nowadays, to have way more options, way more role playing, and sky's the limit, which is such an amazing thing. Oblivion Remake gave some AI voiceovers when it comes to NPCs, which sometimes is a good thing, but other times it kinda takes away from the experience. Skyblivion is going crazy when it comes to voice acting. The community is having some of the best people when it comes to that. If you see how much of a good job they are doing with voice acting with Skyblivion, you will understand why I'm so hyped about this project and why I think Skyblivion will be 10 times better than the Oblivion Remake. When you combine us getting new NPCs, new areas, new custom quests, new items, it's very easy to understand why Skyblivion will be huge. Let's speak about the weapons and armors in comparison of the two. While the Oblivion Remake keeps all of the weapons and armors very much the same, changing a little bit of the appearance of the armors, the dietetic artifacts and the special weapons, they get a graphical overhaul. I don't like all of the changes when it comes to weapons and armors, but for the most part, it's overall a good thing. However, Skyblivion completely enhances every single armor, giving unique armors, much variations to guards, bandits. If you check the quality of those armors, the best models we have when it comes to Skyrim have worked to create some of the best quality armors and weapons in the game, but it doesn't end there because the special weapons get more special with way better looks, overhauling and further enhancing those special weapons. We also get the unique name items having different appearances. In the Oblivion Remake, if you get a unique item that has just a different name, it keeps the same weapon model, but in Skyblivion, every single unique item you will find has a completely new model. Not only that, it fits to the lore of the weapon or the armor, and many of those even have unique animations. How cool is that? So they walk the extra mile just to make this as immersive and as good as it can possibly get. And not only that guys, because again this goes for armors too, and we also get unique rings, unique amulets with different looks, so we're gonna have so many choices for our characters. All of those weapons, all of those items, they are made from scratch from the best modders, and a good example of that is a mod called Artifact. Now I've mentioned already that when it comes to Oblivion Remake we have some new animations, but everything plays the same. In Skyblivion, other than some unique weapons and special weapons have different animations, it will use the Skyrim combat, which is something great because at first you might think Skyrim combat looks kinda junky. You are looking at the tree my friend, but not the forest, because if we're having the Skyrim combat, that means we can mod the shit out of every combat mod you know. Every combat animation mod that will come out or still exist will work for Skyblivion. That means we can change everything we want, make the combat as good as you like it. The same goes with graphics, the same goes with mods, and again when it comes to the limitations of modding from Oblivion Remake because of the Unreal Engine client, all of that breaks down with Skyblivion by making it more accessible and by giving us way more choices, fixing the combat, fixing anything you like, and again when the greatest modding community works together for such a big project. Another small thing that I'm going to say that might sound repeating is that because Oblivion Remake is made by a third party that is owned by Bethesda, of course, they are not as invested into Oblivion or the source material as the community is. Skyblivion is being made by the gamers, by the fans themselves. And you might ask me, Kavou, why is this important? Because you see, my friend, in Oblivion Remake, do you want to call it politics? Do you want to call it something else? The freedom when it comes to expressing the fantasy world of Oblivion is very much being attacked by the removal of statues, armors that look grotesque, or even genders, and I can go on for so long.
Sparring with an Argonian named Salith in the hopes of making it in the arena. In the original, their outfits, or lack of clothes, perfectly fit their situation. This place is like a mini gym, and her attire is perfectly comfortable for what she's doing. It's sort of like a sports bra vibe. In the remaster, without any context, you go up to this and it just looks like two homeless people fighting. You can see here that first of all, this censorship doesn't extend to male characters as they didn't decide to put a shirt on him, but she's wearing this warm furry vest to work out.
There is dozens of those examples, and again, the creativity and the freedom when it comes to enhancing the beautiful world of Oblivion is very much limited by Virtruos Studios. That does not apply on Skyblivion, because you see on Skyblivion, not only we're getting way more unique armors and weapons, not only we're not getting the things I've talked about. Just to give you an example, every single statue, the atmosphere of the game, with the coloring, the shaders, the different types of creatures, everything has been made to represent the OG Oblivion and the Elder Scrolls lore. So many of the monsters and creatures in the Oblivion Remake, they just look weird, like the trolls look like gorillas, which is very intimidating at first, but when you see that most of the monsters are like that, like goblins in the Oblivion Remake, they look like weird looking humans. Skyblivion tries to change that by again making everything feel way more magical and way more close to what we grew and love in Oblivion. I enjoy the Oblivion Remake, but not to a point where I'm satisfied by it. I think the Oblivion Remake is boring when it comes to all of those things and with what they have done, and Skyblivion is the correct direction of how Oblivion should look in the end of the day. Who would have thought that in the end of the day, the community itself will create a project that looks way more promising, way more better in every single way than a shoeless third-party studio? Its faith to the source material that's Oblivion, it's very much questionable to say the least. Skyblivion will be released this year, over 90% of the project is fully complete, so I am extremely excited, guys, to play this game and cover it as well. I'm very curious what you think about Skyblivion and what your opinion is with the Oblivion Remake. You can leave your opinion down in the comments, I always read those, but that was my boring, honest thoughts when I see Skyblivion. And when people ask me why do I care about Skyblivion when we have the Oblivion Remake out, I probably have forgotten to mention a bunch of things, but either way, that was most of the points why I think Skyblivion will be way more important and it will play better than the current Oblivion Remake. I'm going to cover this project again, and thank you as always for watching the video. It was me, Kavou, and I will see you until the next one. Stay safe and happy modding.